In last video, we discussed about the concept of the Python programming language. We discussed about the basic thing, what is Python, why we are using Python, and we installed the Python programming language, Python inside our system. Then we executed our first program of the Hello World on the IDE, and the command prompt. So now in this video, we are going to discuss about the statements in Python programming language. Along with that, we are going to discuss about multiple other concepts as well. Let's first understand what is a statement. So statement means whatever the instructions we are providing to the Python interpreter, that means instructions that the Python interpreter can execute. That the Python interpreter can execute is called as a statement. So whatever we are writing inside our Python file, it's called as a statement. Let's consider this is our Python file. Inside our Python file, we are having the multiple line of a statement. Now all those lines which our Python interpreter can understand and can convert those lines into the machine code, those lines are called as a statements. Now statements can be of multiple types, like the single line statement, multi-line statement. So in previous video we discussed about the multi-line statement. Multi-line statement means, let's consider when I was working on the IDLE or the command prompt. So we created a variable that is a. Inside this, I want to store the summation of 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. In last video, we discussed about this concept. Now I want to provide my input from the next line. That means from this line. So if I want to move to the next line, I need to use the new line character, or this is the first way. That means new line character, then providing the input over here. That is 3 plus 2 plus 1. Then again, I want to move to the new line character, then 2 plus 1. This is the first way. The another way was like this. B, and then using the round bracket, 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. Then I want to move to the new line, that is plus, and I want to move to the new line, that is 2 plus 1. Now I'm closing this bracket. So it is going to add all those values and it is going to store those values inside the B variable. So this was called as a multi-line statement. This multi-line statement. Single line statement means we are writing anything inside a single line, that is called as a single line statement. So I think you are having a basic idea about the single line statement and the multiple line statement. Now we will be discussing some examples. Let's move to the VS Code. On VS Code, we are let's understand with an example over here. So all these line number 1, line number 2, line number 3, all those are called as a statement. Now we have a concept of the compound statement. So in compound statement, so we are discussing our first topic inside the statement, that is compound statement. Compound statement. Inside the compound statement, we are having the multiple statement like the if statement. If statement, we will be discussing, basically these are the conditional statement like the if statement, while loop, for loop. Then we have the try, catch block, try catch. So all these statements are called as a compound statement because these statements comes with the multiple line. If I am using a if statement, that means in this example, as you can see, I was using a if statement. So this if statement is combined with the multiple line of a statement, like these 3 lines of a statement. That's the reason it is called as a compound statement. Along with that, we are having the multiple other as well, like the while statement or the for statement. All these statements are combined with the multiple lines of code. That's the reason we are calling as a compound statement. Okay, then we have a expression statement. Expression statement means we are having a particular expression, or we want to calculate something like a equal to 1, b equal to 2. These are also the expression statement. And now c equal to a plus b. This is also the expression statement. That means we are adding some value, we are doing the multiplication, we are dividing, or we are doing the subtraction. So we are doing some some task over here. So that's the reason it is called as an expression. Because we are doing some operations, we are using some operators. Now the another statement is the pass statement. This is the important one. Pass statement. Pass statement says whenever we want to create any block statement with the empty body, we will be using pass statement. I said whenever we want to create any block statement with an empty body, the block statement can be if statement, while statement, for statement, try statement, catch statement, or any other statement as well. Empty body means, let's understand with this example over here. Let me first remove these two lines. So as you can see, I have created a if block, but the body of the if block is empty. I'm not writing anything inside the body of the if block. So if I will execute this, I will get the error. I'm getting the error over here. So I want to create, this is a block statement. This is a block statement. Block statement. This is a block statement. So I want to create a block statement with an empty body, so I will be using a pass statement that is called as a. Now if I will execute, I will not get any kind of error. Only line number 7 will be executed because I have created a if statement with an empty body, because I have used the pass statement. So pass statement always help you to create the any block statement with the empty body. So this is the purpose of the pass statement. Then we have a delete statement. Delete statement, as the name is suggesting, delete statement. So whenever I want to delete something, let's consider I have created a variable a which is storing a value 10. Now I want to delete this value, so I will simply use delete a. So this is the reserved statement that is saying whatever you want to delete, you can simply use the del keyword, and using this del you can simply delete that. So this is called as a delete statement. Now we are having a return statement. On fourth number, we are having a return statement. Return statements are generally used when we are dealing with the functions. These are generally used when we are dealing with the functions. So let's create a function over here. Here we are going to discuss about the, here I am creating a new file that is return.py. Functions we have not discussed yet, but for now simply you can understand that I am creating a function simply to make you understand about the return statement. Num1, num2. Then I want to return something from here. I want to return num1 plus num2. I want to return this value. And when I am calling, now I am calling this function that is result equal to addition, and inside this I am passing 10, 20. Then I am printing the result. Print result. So what I am doing, I am simply creating a function. So in Python, whenever you want to create a function, there is a reserved keyword for creating a function that is called def keyword. So using this, I am defining a function. So this is defining a function, and this line is consuming a function. So here I have defined a function that there is an addition function which is taking the two arguments, that is num1, that is taking the two arguments, that is num1 and num2, and whatever the value I am passing, I want the summation of those two values. So return statement is simply returning the summation of these two values, that is num1 and num2. Now I am consuming that function. I am saying that I am consuming this function, and I am passing the addition. Inside this addition, I am passing 10 and 20. So this 10 and 20 is passed from here to here. This num1 is taking 10 and this num2 is taking 20. And now this function is returning me 10 plus 20. That's the reason I will execute this code, because I have printed on the line number 5. If I will execute this, I will get the output as 30. I'm getting the output as 30. So return statement always help you return something from the function. Whenever you want to return something from the function, then we will be using the return statement. Then after the return statement, we are having an import statement. So import statement means, let's consider I want to import some default file. There is an import statement. Import statement means, let's consider there is a default file or default module. You want to import that module, that you will be using the import statement. Here I'm simply creating a new file, or I'm simply commenting this. I'm simply commenting this, and then I'm importing a new file. Commenting means that these lines will not be considered by your Python interpreter. These lines will not be considered while executing your program. These are simply for the understanding purpose. So whenever you are typing any this hash sign before any line, that line will be commented, And once that line will be commented, so those lines will be ignored by the interpreter while executing your program. So here I am importing a module that is a default module provided by the Python that is called as a date time. And using this module, I can do the multiple tasks. Let's consider I want to print my current time. So I am creating a variable now. Inside the now, I'm using the date time module. So this is the name of the module which I have imported. Inside this module, I'm having a function date time. I'm having a function date time. Inside this date time class or function, there is another thing that is now. So basically, you can understand this first date time is the module name. Another date time is a class name which we have defined inside the date time module. This is a default class, and inside that there is a dot now function. This is also a default function. Now, if I will print now, I will get the current date and time. So I am getting the current date and current time. So to import any default module or to import any user created module, we are just using a import statement. Then we have the continue and break statement. Then these continue and break statement we always use while dealing with the looping statement like the while loop, for loop. So we have continue and break. This we will discuss while discussing the while loop and the for loop, or the looping statements. Okay, so now we have discussed about the concept of a statement. We are done with the statements part.